Hello and welcome to my first Let's Play. In this case we're going to be playing Kerbal Space Program, which is a fairly decent indie game that is currently still in alpha, in this case version 0.19. You can get it either on Steam through their early access system for about 23 bucks, or you can get it from their website. In either case, I highly recommend this game. It's a lot of fun. So what you got, main menu here, you can start your game, set things up. KSP Community brings you to their forums. Spaceport brings you to a website which has a bunch of add-ons and what have you, kind of like the Steam Workshop, but on their own website. Credits, and obviously to quit the game. We're going to start a game. We're not going to start a new game because I have one that's currently in play right now. You can also do training in different kinds of scenarios. The scenarios you can do Kerbal orbit, getting ready to impact the moon, lunar orbit, or yeah. Anyway, cancel. We're going to resume saved. I have one flight in progress. When you first start the game, you come to, in this case mine is a sandbox game. Career mode is not currently available, but this is your control center, so to speak. You have a spaceplane hangar which allows you to make space planes. You have a flight tracking station, a launch pad, and a vehicle assembly building. I'm going to go to the tracking station. Here in the tracking station you can see a map. First there's Kerbal. I want to kind of fly around there when I build a plane. That looks kind of cool. Anyway, there is Kerbal. Immediately orbiting that is a station that I've created, which I will show you guys that in just a moment. Outside that orbit you have the moon, the second moon Minmus, and it goes further out and out to the rest of the solar system, which ends generally with Elu, which is my ultimate goal. Soon. Maybe. Possibly. I don't know. In any case, let's fly my station. At some point. It's currently piloted by Bob and Bill Kerman, who are Kerbals. Now, I created this in the vehicle assembly building. It has a couple of solar panels. It has some docking ports which are going to ultimately have things permanently connected, like habitat modules, extra batteries, extra solar cells, different things as they come out. Here in the center is where those two guys are currently living. That is the cockpit. There's a bunch of RCS thrusters and lights and everything else, because when you try to dock on the night side of the planet, it is very difficult at best. I mean, it kind of looks like that, only darker. So you can turn on lights, which illuminate things fairly nicely. So, and also you can, I have it set up as so-called gear, landing gear, but you can pull the solar panels in, or you can send them back out again. So yeah, this is my beginning of a space station. I have to finish it hopefully sometime soon. So there is that, and you can see the moon there in the background. Alrighty, so that, don't want to end flight. Let's go back to the Space Center. Go to the vehicle assembly building. I have one that is currently set up with something called MechJeb, which is autopilot for your rockets. I'm not going to build a whole new one here, but MechJeb is a mod that you can get from the spaceport. So let us pull up a basic orbiter. And I'm going to go ahead and launch this. Not from in here, mind you, but I'm going to go ahead and launch it. So, how we launch it is fairly easy. Normally what you would do is you would just throttle up, turn on your SAS, hit the spacebar to start flying and go. In my case, I'm kind of lazy, so I'm going to allow Ascent autopilot to do it for me. I want to orbit at 200 kilometers above the surface, stage about a second between stages. And we're going to stop at stage 2 so we don't try to break things. Alrighty, let's edit the path real quick just to make sure that we're not overburning. And engage and lift off. I'll show you what I did. That was stupid. I'm not going to edit that out because that's hilarious. Okay, when you put things together, you have to make sure that your stages are correct. In my case, I have these neat little supports attached to fuel tanks. These supports are supposed to engage or disengage the moment I engage my rockets. That didn't happen. The other thing I noticed that I forgot to do while I'm here is RCS thrusters. Those are kind of useful. So I'm going to go ahead and put them on. Alright, let's try this again. Only this time without the catastrophic failure. Okay. I have somebody calling me. Can I call you back?
Okay.
Alright, love you, bye.
Bye.
Oops. Okay, that was my wife. Alright, hide that away. I'm engaged. Engage my SAS. Throttle up. And go. See? That worked out much better. Now when I zoom in, you're not going to be able to hear me over the rockets. You probably can't hear me over them right now. But, yeah. So I'm going to be a little quiet for a good while. Just to explain what happened there, it separated my solid boosters. There were little tiny mini solid boosters attached to them that pushed it away from the rocket. If I left them without those little mini boosters, they would have fallen basically directly into the rocket and caused things to explode. So if you're looking at this for examples of what to do, make sure to stick those on if you have the extra weight, you know, the extra lifting power for the weight, because it is very important. Now, what you just witnessed there is I started what's known as a gravity turn. This pushes me, this is essentially starting me toward my orbit. Now, when you're first going up, you have this thing called the apoapsis. This is the highest point of your ascent, or the highest point of your orbit. You usually want this and the lowest point to be equal, kind of like it is for here. Now, in order to do that, you usually burn until you reach a desired altitude. Once this reaches a desired altitude, you stop burning and you coast up to it. Then, when you reach here, you start burning again. What that allows you to do is extend the other side of your orbit out. What an orbit is essentially a perpetual fall. You're getting up here and then you're saying, well, I want to fall, but I want to fall past the edge of the planet. So when you fall past the edge of the planet at a certain speed, the planet can't exactly grab you back, and you just continue to fall in a circular pattern. That's what orbiting is all about. Now, I'm starting to coast toward my highest point, it's going to warp time for me. Notice that it keeps pointing what's known as prograde. Prograde and retrograde are how you increase the altitude of your orbit and decrease the altitude of your orbit. The other thing is you have pronormal and antinormal to increase and decrease what's known as inclination, which is the angle of your orbit. Basically right now we are at angle 0, but you can also get other angles. So if you want to go like from pole to pole instead of around the equator, you can do that as well. So we're going to let that continue to coast. Shouldn't take too much longer. And there we go. So now it's known as, it's doing what's called circularizing the orbit. It is pushing this out past the atmosphere and making this equal to this, which may take a little while. And it's, there it goes. They're roughly equal, give or take a few meters. So that is how you get into orbit. And let's see. It did it with plenty of fuel remaining on my main stage, which is kind of funny. In any case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn retrograde. Which way do I want to turn? I want to turn... Yeah, we're going to turn retrograde. Roll a little bit. And then we're going to stop turning. Now what retrograde will allow me to do is, once I've orbited a few times, will allow me to start a descent. So again, I just need one moment to allow this to continue to orbit until we reach day side. I'm going to warp some time, but just need one moment. Here we go. I've already decircularized my orbit accidentally. However, here is daytime. Now what's cool about the game is if you look in the distance, you can actually see the color of sunrise, and you can also see the haze of the atmosphere over the planet. Now, atmosphere ends at roughly 70,000 meters or 70 kilometers above the surface. So let's go back to retrograde, which is somewhere. I'm dumb. Retrograde's up over here. Once we go retrograde, I can do a deorbit burn. Now, the problem with the autopilot in this game is it expects you to be able to do a powered landing. We can't do that with at least this planet because of the atmosphere. We'll burn up if we try, which wouldn't be good, especially with all of that fuel. So I'm going to have it autopilot to get me essentially targeted at my at landing at my target, and then I will take over manually. So we are going to try to land at target. It's moving to the deorbit burn point, which I'm not exactly sure where that is. I guess we'll see. Right about there. We're going to be splashing down in at night, it seems. And it is now executing a deorbit burn. So here you can see we are slowly deorbiting, very slowly. Want to make sure that it's pointing at the right location. Actually, you know what? I want to land somewhere during the day. So, it's going to burn much harder. And that should do it for me. So what I'm going to do, bless you puppy, what I'm going to do is pull that off. Burn just a little bit more so that goes away. Pull that off, burn just a little bit more so that goes away. Not sure where that's going to end up, but hey, that was kind of fun. Blow that off too, because I'm not going to need it. And we're going to turn such that we don't burn up in the atmosphere, because this has a heat shield on the bottom and a parachute up top. That's going to take some time, so let's speed up time. Whoa, not that fast. Oops. Okay, and as we come in and begin to hit the atmosphere, you'll hear it, you'll know it. Things will start glowing and getting all fiery and like that. Now if you'll notice, different drag points create different amounts of friction. The handles outside of the crew hatch are creating friction as well as bottom there. And I'm breaking through the sound barrier right. I don't know if that was a sound barrier or just cooling off. But either way, we are listening to my dog squeak stuff. Oh, parachute might be helpful. Now, that'll slow us down a bit. Sorry about the lack of frame rate. We're going to speed up just a little. Puppy! Come here, puppy. And we're going to slow back down as we get to about 1,000 meters. Getting ready to splash down. Oh, wait, there goes parachute, which slows us down to a little under 6.3 meters a second. So it's going to take us some time to get down. Is the wind really keeping me in the air? It was for a while. That's kind of funny. Almost splashed down. Now this here is our G meter. This will tell us how hard we splashed, which we really didn't splash down very hard at all. But we're afloat. So that's the end of the mission and this particular Let's Play. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it wasn't too boring, and if I was, leave that in the comments too. You could be as mean as you want. Not really. At least keep it civil. In any case, hope you enjoyed. Thank you much.